We're going to vec them, V-E-C. If they upset us, we're going to validate them first. Now, for us guys, gentlemen, there were two words that are really hard for us to say. As we were growing up and we were in high school, the word commitment, boy, that was good. Did you hear how I said that? See, speech therapy really paid off. Commitment, that was a tough word to say. And validation is like, it's like trying to teach me French. You know, teach a guy a foreign language in 5 minutes, or anybody for that matter. Seriously, validation is a foreign concept to most men, and that's because it's about emotions, about feelings. And so we get so tied up in how illogical how illogical the person is, that the things that they're saying, you're such an idiot, you're the worst teacher, I can't believe they hired you. Well, that's not necessarily, is that really true what they're saying when they're insane? Not necessarily. They may feel it at the time, but they've taken something the kid said, hook, line, and sinker. Or maybe you did make a mistake. Anybody human in here? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, you know, and of course if we did, it's really hard again that they're yelling at us to be apologetic, isn't it? If we get defensive, then we start to dig in our heels, and then we dig a bigger hole sometimes. And then we have to come back later and say, you know what, maybe I thought about this, and maybe I was wrong, and maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe the way you responded to their kid just doesn't meet their needs, or maybe it's part of their IEP as far as how to respond to them when they're upset, and you didn't follow it, because how do you follow? You have 3 or 4 IEPs on a kid in middle school. You had various middle school and high school, 3 or 4 IEPs on 3 or 4 different kids in every class. How do you remember all that? How do you? It's very difficult. And some schools aren't even doing that. A lot of private schools don't do individualized education plans. And that's, again, why I do the ADHD talk here every year, and ACSI, because we really need to get this into schools because of kids like my brother and my dad. That's why I do this. So we agree with how they feel. Very simple, guys. Men, agree with how they feel. I can see you're frustrated. I can see you're angry. Well, and then the parent might go, duh. Or even teenagers will do that too. What gave you that idea? I'm busy. I work 70 hours a week. And you're making me come down here? This stupid little thing, you can't fix this? What do you need me for? Well, we need you to get involved in your son. You don't spend enough time with your son, right? Is that? I think some teachers do that. Well, listen to them, full attention, show understanding. You can, just nod. You can look at them, nod, use a soft voice. Wow, I can see you're frustrated. Let them talk a little bit more. And then as they tell you, you empathize with them. So you agree with their emotion. Parents want to be heard. How many of you guys have heard teenagers want to be heard? You don't listen to me when I'm talking to you. We're going to talk about that. That's actually the next hour, the no-nos of oppositional defiance. How do you listen to those kids and diffuse the oppositional kids as well? It's very similar. Ventilation, let them vent. After you validate, pause to allow for a response. I'm frustrated, or I'm not frustrated, I'm angry. Or, of course I'm angry. You know what? When they do that, that's called therapy. Did you know that? That's therapeutic. It's like confession. It really is. When you confess something, you get it out, it feels good, doesn't it? It's the same feeling. They're starting to feel better just by getting it out. And all of a sudden, how many of you guys have done that? And you've seen that that's helped? Raise your hand. Just by hearing them, letting them vent, and then you agree with how they feel, and then you move on. Empathy. I can see why you're frustrated. Now, I made it really simple for the men. If you go back to the previous slide, it says, I can see you're frustrated. The next slide, anybody see the difference? The word what? Why? I just added the word why. I can see why you're frustrated. Please pause, though, between validation and empathy. Let them vent. If you just keep going and you make it sound like you're reading something off a teleprompter, then there's no heart in that. So just give them a chance to vent. It won't work otherwise. So I can see why you're frustrated. You're saying that you're busy. Say it. If they say that, I'm busy. Okay, then use that. Yeah, because you're really busy. And you really shouldn't need to come down here for this. And I really wish, you didn't have to. And I understand that you pay good money for this school. Tell them that. They're going to say that, right? I pay good money. I have to make a lot of sacrifices. I have to work an extra job to put my kids in this school. And then you're going to make me come down here? Plus, I pay my taxes. So I understand you pay a lot of good money to come here. And we really do appreciate the opportunity to serve you and to serve your child and to be there for your child. Again, you lower your voice because they're going to want to hear what you have to say. And if you lower your voice and they want to hear what you have to say, what's their volume going to do? They're going to lower their volume too. Feel with them, by the way. Do that. Feel with them. Now, if you have a student yourself and you've had to be to a parent conference, you can talk about how you feel about that too. Yeah, that is frustrating. That is frustrating. I've had to go down there a couple times for my son Johnny. That's very frustrating. I know how you feel. I know you're busy. Instead of saying, but I'm busy. You're busy? Let me tell you who's busy. I was up last night grading your kids' papers. Don't do that. That's not a good example, right? Okay. Empathize, here's some more. If they are still emotional, they may still be insane. Right? They're still insane. They're just temporarily insane a little longer. Does that make sense? So you might need to validate them again. Yeah. Validate them again. Agree with how they feel again. Wow, I can still... and they're going to give you something else. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, yes, I am busy. And yes, I do pay a lot of money for this school. Well, I can see you're really angry. I can see you're upset. And I can see why. And I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that you're upset. I'm really sorry you feel that way. I can see why you feel that way. I can see why you think that would work for you. So in other words, they might give you a suggestion. Let me tell you what you should do. They'll give you a suggestion. Well, I can see, and it may not be according to policy. So you just say, I can see why you think that would work for you. Let me talk with the principal about that. Or let me talk to so-and-so. Let's see what we can do. And it might be that you already know there's nothing you can do. But just by letting them think that you're going to work on it or accommodate that, that might help. Help them to calm down a little bit. Is this helpful so far? Things like this? Okay. Choices. We have a couple of choices. Now here's the C. So V is what? Validate. Say it again. Validate. E is? Empathize. And then C is? Choices. So what would you feel like our options are? Maybe you can throw out some things. Just see. Maybe they have some good ideas. Some of those parents are consultants. They might give you some great ideas. And really listen intently to their idea. You might think it's a terrible idea. Don't tell them that. Oh, I've already tried that. Oh, what are you going to do if that happens? They just pulled out of temporary insanity. They're on the edge. Oh, I've already done that. It doesn't work. How many of you guys have tried something and it didn't work for you, but it did work for somebody else? Oh, yeah. So maybe you didn't do it right, or maybe it wasn't the right timing, or maybe it was the approach. What would you like to see as a solution? Ask them that question. Repeat the options back to them so, again, they feel heard and understood. So you repeat back to them. Oh, well, why don't you maybe let my son stay after school and clean your room for you. Have him apologize and clean your room for you. Well, you know what? So what you're saying is just have him stay afterwards and clean my room to make it up to me. That's the building positive peer pressure thing. I don't know if anybody was here for that last year? Building positive peer pressure? Okay, Paula saw that one. So, let them make it up to you. I apologize, and let them make it up. Well, that's not a bad idea. They'll really hear them. Of course, you want to schedule something. You may want to say, let's get back together in 4 weeks. Let's reevaluate. Let's give this a try. Okay? Admit limitations. Be careful not to recommend consequences when they're emotional. So if they're emotional, and I saw that. I saw a teacher right away get real emotional, say, well, maybe we should just put him in another class. Let's just put him in another class. Right at the very beginning, when that parent was yelling at her, why don't we just move him? And the administration were there too, and they said, let's just talk about this a little bit more. Because really, he was in the right class. He has ADHD, and she is the right teacher. They got off to a wrong start. And what did we end up finding out happened? The mom had what? A thyroid problem, So she was overreacting to something. She took her son, what her son said, hook, line, and sinker. Do you remember the days when parents believed the teachers? Are those days gone? For the most part, there's still parents out there that will listen. And again, those are the ones that are involved and are volunteering and helping in your classroom. And You know a good teacher appreciation day? There's a school in town that does this, and I thought it was amazing, and the PTA sponsored it. They actually had the parents work in the classroom, volunteers sign up for an hour, just an hour in the classroom. And the teachers had the day off. And they went to a party that was they did it at like a hotel or something, a conference room, or they went to a party that day and went to swim in the pool and just had a great day together while the parents were in there. Now after that, how many parents do you think really appreciated their teachers? That was so amazing. I saw so much wisdom in the PTA to do that. And the thing is the people that lead the PTA at this school really understood. And so, but in order to make it a real parent or teacher appreciation day rather than just giving you, a piece of cake and a bow, that's what they did. So I thought that was really neat. So how many of you guys are going to try that? You want to try that in your school? All right. That's going to help diffuse a lot of parents too. Yes?
We did that at our school. The parent got me a massage, and she said, "You deserve it."
There you go.
And she said, "Well, you ought to make every parent do it for an hour a month."
That's right. Yeah, you should. Actually, there's a school, another school. It's it's a home school, 3 days at the school, 2 days at home, and they keep their costs down by making. But the parents have to come to parent education conferences every year. They have to volunteer so many hours a week in the classroom, and they have an amazing atmosphere, and the kids are so much better behaved because the parents are involved, and they have a lot less problems and flack, and they have a waiting list to get into the school. If I can think of the name, I'll tell you, because it'd be good to consult with them. Okay, so let's be careful not to. So try not to react. If they say, "Fine, I just don't see how we'll be able to," if you said, "Fine, I just don't see how we can work with your kid," or "want to move them," okay, well, that's just going to escalate the problem. So what are you going to do if they're emotional? Again, what can you do? And they're disrespectful to you. Take it personal, right? No, what are you going to do? Validate them again. Agree with how they feel. Remember, it's not about, It's not about you. That's right, it's not about you. So, let's see. If they are temporarily insane, go back, validate, empathize. Do that a couple of times. You know what? If things continue to escalate, say, you know what? Maybe we should just schedule another time. Or you know what? I just want to walk out of the room for a few minutes and I want to cool down. As a teacher. But you got to make sure the administration will let you do that. I need to walk away and I need to cool down. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm just going to get something to drink and I'll come back and let's talk about this because this is really important. Then you're modeling the behavior too for that parent.